Hey there, it's Noir Nerd, and it's one of my regular series console.log vlog videos. And in this one, I wanted to talk about what to do if you are stuck in a rut, or if you're looking for that first dev role, or if you're just looking for a dev role in general. Maybe like that's the position I'm going to be in soon, because I've been at a English teaching camp for 3 months. Now I need to find some new work when I get back to England, so it's a position I'm going to be in very shortly, because I just have to find a new job basically. So I have to start hustling, bustling, and looking around for a new dev role, obviously. So, some bits of advice I'd give. Well, the obvious thing to do is redo your CV, make sure it's up to scratch, make sure your skills are on there. Portfolio, of course, in development work is extremely important. So you want to make sure that you've got an up-to-date portfolio, showcasing your work in the best way that you can. In terms of organising your portfolio, that is quite a fine art, and there's lots of videos on YouTube covering the best ways to go about showing your portfolio site, what sort of thing you should do on it. I'd say in general, you want to have at least some decent showcased projects, a mixture of side and commercial projects. Maybe a blog as well, but it depends. Also links to all your external links, like if you've got a YouTube or a Twitter that's dev focused and is related to anything that's social links that are related to your development work, like a GitHub, of course, is very important to showcase. That's another thing. So if you haven't already, then have a public repository of work, like if it's GitHub or GitLabs or whatever, Bitbucket maybe even, but GitHub is usually the generally used one. So if you haven't already done that, then obviously do that. That can then demonstrates, people can look directly at your code, they can see what you've been up to, and they can form a picture in their heads of exactly your level and how skilled you are, and also just, it's like showing off really, to be honest. And also it's good to just make your own projects, even contribute to open source if that's your thing, I guess. It's a contributor to a project. One app, it's not sponsored, I'm just saying this because I've used it quite a lot and had some success with it. And I don't know if it's that well known, but there's a good app I've used called Shaper, SHAPR. It's like a business networking app, like it's sort of, but it's very tech focused, and I've had a lot of luck with that. I've got various bits of work from doing that, actually, at least to the tune of a few £1,000 at least over the years, over about 2 years, just for freelance stuff. Shaper is like a networking site, social networking site for business professionals. A lot of it's tech focused as well. You sort of put on your skills list, and you can network with other people who are just other professionals. It's quite good, actually. LinkedIn obviously is the other example of that, but I don't really use LinkedIn that much. Once I use Shaper more. So yeah, portfolio is important. GitHub presence is important. In terms of actually the application process, just like I said, it's something I'm doing at the minute myself. It depends what level you're at. I mean, if you're at junior level, then just apply for anything that's not, I'd say, it's my own personal advice, like try and go, if you want an entry level, just try and apply for anything that looks sort of alright and which matches your skill set or your technology stack that you've worked in. If you've got the portfolio that's demonstrable and some experience, then that usually is what counts the most, like a portfolio and a GitHub and everything. So, how I'm approaching it at the minute, I'm a bit more choosy now, picky now. Not too much, and it depends, but I tend to go with a company that has that looks like they do interesting work, and which also I match at least 80% of the skills for, I guess. If there's a few missing, then I'll still apply for it maybe, but as long as I match like 80% of the skills. In terms of like what skills you should really, if you want to go into an entry level job, then it's just a standard, like get a good HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You can probably get jobs just with HTML and CSS, but generally you want a bit of JavaScript under your belt as well. I think a lot of jobs though just generally look at your portfolio. That's the main thing that they're going to look at. Is they're going to assess the visual aspect of it. They're going to assess what technology stack you used, how effectively you've used that. They'll put. I mean, I've done a little bit of recruiting myself, not at a deep level, only a few times, but you're looking at the architecture of how the code's made, how the code's organised. Just how. So when on the hire that I did actually, which I helped out with a bit and just gave my 2 cents with, I looked at how they coded the little project we'd given them, the visual and UI and UX stuff, design, how like slick that looked, and also like I said, just how effectively they'd used the well, it's React in this case for the project that we gave them. And yeah, it's sort of intuitive to making that decision, but that's by the by really. So yeah, I'd say Shaper is a very good thing to use for networking. I'm going through this process myself with just looking for another job now. There's a lot more remote opportunities now at the minute. I'll just add as a final appending. There's a lot more remote opportunities now, which is you should see as a sort of, because of COVID, which you should see maybe as a sort of opportunity, because it means that you can start off maybe even just working remote. I mean, it is nice to work in an office sometimes if you've got a nice company culture and nice people you work with. It can be quite nice, like a little family, I suppose, in the ideal. Not always, it's not always like that, but in the ideal you're going to have that. So I think I'll leave it at that. If you're not a nerd, like and subscribe. These kids going in now because of the account.